Hi guys. Hello, Judy.
Hello. Fancy seeing you here.
So I know you know I was getting at you, and I did give you a brief intro of it. I have your book, and I'm waiting for you to come get it.
I shall be there
Do you know how
right
hard
now.
it is for me to not read this? I have been trying so hard not to read it. I did message Selena, like, I think it was for your birthday, not last year, the year before. And I'll message her, and I hope it's just a matter of the fact that she didn't see it, because 'cause I'd be sad if she did see it and ignore me, but I'd actually messaged her to purchase one of her books and asked her to sign it and write a birthday thing and ask how much she would charge for that, and she never got back to me, so, Selena, I still love you if you ever see this. I'm just hoping that you miss me, like, you missed the message, not missed me, but, guys, go check out this. You can get it on Amazon. And I think that was really cool
Can't
because
wait reading.
they managed to do it without staining any of the other page, like,
Ooh.
I wonder how many they messed up before they got that. I am withholding from reading it. I just wanted to
Let
tell
me
you
do
guys
the
to go
first.
purchase Spooky Boo's book.
I'm
She has
excited
to read it
to read
first,
it.
and then I'll read it, like, that's just the
Yeah.
rule. 'Cause I usually do audibles, 'cause dyslexic and all. Okay, guys, so before we start, brew check. Is everybody
Yep.
hydrated? And most importantly, are you emotionally braced?
Well, I've got water today instead of a brew because I'm feeling pretty shocking. And I
Oh,
don't think I'm ever emotionally braced. But this is the episode where history does that thing where you stare at it and go, oh no.
not again. Yeah, this is not a kids are creepy episode like Children of the Corn, nor
Mm-mm.
is it a Children are evil masterminds episode.
Although they can be.
Yeah,
This is the one where, it's more of a why did adults think that this was a good idea, basically.
that part, which frankly is most of history.
It is. So, welcome back to Grab Your Brew Coffee Beans. This is episode 4 Little Voices, Loud Fires.
Also known as When Innocence Became Admissible Evidence. We need to unlearn something before we go any further.
Yes, the idea that childhood has always meant innocence, protection, and soft blankets.
Historically, no.
Mm-mm. Correct. In early modern Europe, children were seen as morally weak, spiritually open, easily influenced, and unfortunately, demon adjacent.
Makes sense sometimes. My
Yeah,
little
well, my
tiny
youngest does.
terrorist. Which means children occupy a very strange position.
Yes, they're not fully trusted, but they're deeply symbolic.
So when a child says something frightening, adults don't think, is it just stress?
They think, who corrupted them?
Which is where witches enter the chat.
I'm here!
Here's the problem courts were facing. Witchcraft doesn't leave fingerprints. Not that they had the technology back then, but still, no evidence.
No knife, no poison, no CCTV.
So courts did need something, and children, while they looked promising,
Just because culturally children were believed to see spirits, be targeted by the devil, and be unable to fabricate complex lies.
Won't somebody please think of the children?
Which I must say, I do believe children are more sensitive to spirits. But we do know they're very good at fabricating complex lies.
once they reach a certain point, environmental factors and all sorts, isn't there?
Yeah.
But we can't stress this enough. It's not generally how children were.
But it felt right, maybe?
The thing is, in the witch trials, then feelings did a lot of the heavy lifting. A lot.
This is important, so we're gonna go slowly.
Because it's not spontaneous lying, it's a process.
Most outbreaks start with children experiencing nightmares, fits, fear, illnesses, sudden behavior changes.
I mean, to be fair, that describes childhood. Just childhood in general.
It really does. I was having a conversation with somebody like the change in children age ranges. It's just like, to us, it's like a year, but it happens so drastically. Personality changes.
It really
like
does.
You don't get to mourn the child they were last year while you're trying to embrace the child they are now.
Well, look at your youngest. How much has changed just in the last 12 months?
Yeah.
He's like a different child.
Totally. And his reading skills gone up. He's gone up 3 levels in less than 6 months. Like, come on,
My
son.
clever little buddy.
But we do need to be careful here. We can't retro-diagnose.
But we do know that extreme stress, expectations, and pressure can produce very real bodily symptoms.
Then adults step in. Concerned adults, terrified adults, adults under pressure.
That's when they start asking questions, but they're never neutral questions.
Questions like, did somebody hurt you? Was it her? Did she come in the night?
And then, with said questions, a name appears, the room changes,
Now the child isn't just scared, they're useful.
and the moment authority nods, a minister, a magistrate, the story stops being flexible.
It could also be planting a seed in the child's mind too. Like, did such and
Exactly.
such hurt you?
Yes.
Say
Children
something to
are-
me, child. Yes, they did.
They are susceptible to suggestion, though, aren't they?
Especially if
Children.
it's like a parent or a peer, somebody they look up
A
to.
person of authority.
They're very easily to persuade,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
So with that, Salem, yes, Salem again. We promise we're not that obsessed,
Mhm.
but
A little
the
bit.
whole situation was just extremely instructional.
The
Apologies.
Salem Trials revolved around a group of mostly young accusers who fits, screams, and accusations were treated as evidence, when in actuality you can walk into Walmart or Tesco and there's a child doing all of those things.
No. 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 No.
So again, just to reiterate, not clues, not symptoms, evidence. Apparently it's just evidence.
And here's the key shift. Experience becomes proof.
So if a child reacts in the courtroom, the reaction's recorded.
Which turns the courtroom into nothing but a theatre production.
But yeah, so performances are rewarded, even if it's an accidental one. It's like, oh, look at this performance. Must be true.
We just sent somebody to death because we wanted to act good. Salem also uses tests, very lightly word tests, like the touch test, where if the accused touches the child and the fits stop, that's treated as meaningful.
The thing is, medically speaking, it's called a calming stimulus. But back then, legally speaking, it was case closed. They did it.
Some ministers did object to this, logically. Not because they were modern skeptics, but because they spotted the logical hole.
I mean, thank goodness somebody did.
Yes.
But the logic they thought was, if the devil can impersonate anybody, and instead of stopping, the court said, well, anyway, moving on.
Children aren't believed because they're accurate. They're believed because they're symbolic. They represent innocence under threat.
And nothing justifies extreme action faster than the idea that children are being harmed. I mean, we know this today.
Mm-hmm.
And
Children
at
must
that
be protected.
point, exactly. And that's the point where the question stops being, is this true? And more of a, why hasn't somebody been punished yet?
It's terrifying because there's times where a kid can come up to you and they tell you something that's so fucking extreme. And then you have to get them to relay the situation calmly. And after a while, you can piece together what the truth was, you know?
Yeah.
Because to them, it's the most terrifying thing that happened to them that time. So if I came to you and was like, I had this nightmare that mum was strangling me. It felt so real. And then you're like, it must have been real. And then you're hyping into my emotions. I'm going to stay at that level of hypeness.
Exactly. It's feeding into the emotion. And then
rather than calming them down.
Because children aren't about logic, they're about feelings.
That they're still trying to learn and navigate.
But yeah, they're all about feelings. So if you feed into the fear and the emotion that they're feeling...
This is how we got Salem.
Oh, yeah. The Salem warning signs, which makes Sweden the siren call. So between 1668 and 1676, Sweden experienced what was known as the Great Noise.
Children claim that witches take them to Blackula, the devilish gathering place. And I do want to emphasize, because we did put a short out about this, it is not the 1970s movie of a black vampire. This witch was way older than Blackula.
Yeah.
It did make me giggle when I saw that, though.
Yeah.
But authorities don't just listen, they organize around it.
So kids testify en masse, stories become repeated, and to them, it makes it look like the details just align suspiciously well. Which, shocking development. That's how suggestion works.
Power of suggestion. It couldn't be that somebody is rounding them up to kidnap them. I don't know. And at Tosaka, Google Translate.
Blåkulla. Blåkulla.
1674, 71 people were executed after a process heavily shaped by accusations and identifications involving children.
So let's say this, 71, which is what happens when it is. But when a system decides that children are the best evidence, this is what happens. So now, for the rare moment where history almost learns something.
What?
Almost. I know. Shocking, right?
Yeah.
The Basque trials. So they began the same way, fear, children, story spreading. But then investigators noticed the patterns.
The repetition, the coaching, the dreams are turning into confessions. So they do something radical.
They raised the standard. They demanded corroboration. Fancy that? And they became more skeptical of confessions, dream stories, and contagious testimony, unless it was corroborated externally. But that's what it is. They called it contagious testimony. It's kind of like mass hysteria, isn't it? It spreads.
Everybody loses their knickers.
Oh.
Knickers! I lost my knickers on the way down! And knickers!
Oh, yeah.
It is. I wonder how many years it took them for that, too. And suddenly the panic just absolutely loses oxygen, right?
Yeah, which suggests... Oh, wait for it. Are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Children were never the problem.
Oh, well, I'll be damned.
I know, right?
It was the adults refusing to say, we don't know. We have no idea. We don't want to communicate properly with our children and figure out what's wrong with them. It must be the witch.
Must be. The witch we've never actually seen. Must be the witch.
Something horrendous that may have caused trauma or bad dreams. Wasn't us. Wasn't our parenting. We're not causing the trauma. It's Betty down the street in her dreams.
She gave me sour milk. Must be a witch.
We're a witch. How dare she? She charged me a tuppence for it. But a quick important note. Children weren't only witnesses.
In some persecutions, children... this is tragic. They were also accused and executed, which is what happens when our witch engine, as we like to call it, runs out of acceptable targets.
At that point, panic has just completely eaten the logic. Because They don't want to admit that there's masses. Nobody wants to humble themselves to admit they're wrong. And this infuriates me. I know I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent here, but most of these people were Christians.
Or, as we like to call it, a Christian of convenience.
A Christian of convenience. Now, if you're Christian, even Jesus looks a corrupt person in their face and shows them love. And instead of doing that as a Christian, you want to take parts of the Bible to twist your narrative and slaughter children. And I'm saying this as a Christian.
It's shocking. Absolutely shocking. And it's terrifying because it does still happen. We mentioned that in our last episode.
That's why I always try to tell people, like, I'm non-denominational because I believe in Yahweh, I believe in Yeshua. But at the same time, I don't want to be lumped in with these psychopathic cult leaders.
No.
Let's ask the adult question. Who benefits from believing children without question?
Back then, courts, churches, authorities that are desperate for certainty, but sometimes there isn't certainty. They didn't have our technology. They didn't have our line of thinking through development of technologies that prove and disprove. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like now it's like, oh, we found a head, a witch didn't leave it there. Let's DNA test it, or look for fingerprints, or that just wasn't a thing. So they were just led by fear.
But at the same time, does modern technology actually help real witches get away from stuff? Sorry.
If you're a witch, let us know. We'll keep it anonymous.
Please. Well, we will be completely anonymous. But at the end of everything, who pays for this?
As we've said already in each episode so far, women, outsiders, the poor, and people that are already inconvenient.
Same as always. Why were children believed?
Because back then they were considered useful.
Because they carried fear without accountability.
And because contradicting, but then contradicting a frightened child just looked cruel. Even if it seemed necessary, it was cruel. So, we don't want to question or contradict this terrified child, so it must be true.
Must be true. Their nightmares are true. That was, oh gosh, all the nightmares I've had, especially the reoccurring ones, I'd have been dead years ago.
Yeah.
Children didn't light the fires, though. But the adults basically handed them the matches.
And then had the nerve to call it justice.
Disgusting. The amount of manipulation to sit there and manipulate a child. There's a special place in hell for people like that.
Yeah.
It's right up there with grooming.
Yeah, well, it is a form of grooming. It's not sexual, but you can groom a person in many different ways.
Yeah.
So, next episode, we're going to talk about men.
Yeah, as witches.
So, coffee beans, bring your brew.
Like Merlin
or something stiffer.
What is... Yeah, we might need something stiffer, but... I want you guys to comment below on whether you think... I want to know your thoughts on Merlin.
Yeah.
Do you think
he was a sorcerer, wasn't he?
Yeah, because they had sorcerers back then. And there must have been some proof because he worked in the for the crown, basically, didn't he? Merlin, he was high ranked up there.
Yeah.
So I want to know your guys' opinion on whether you think Merlin had magical powers or not.
And whether you think alchemy is science or magic, because there's also the secret alchemy layers, isn't there, in Prague?
I actually think it's a bit of both. I think magic is alchemy. I think magic is forming potions, but that's for another episode. I hope you guys have an amazing week. Tune in for a reaction video. No? Whichever video comes after this, you'll enjoy it. Either way. It's all right. We're both
just like and subscribe it.
Like and subscribe. You're going to enjoy it. Jodie's going on all this. We're both recording. Thank you guys. Have an amazing week. And don't forget, if you would like to donate for our channel here below, it is, I think you can pay using PayPal or anything like that if you don't want to actually put your card in. It's just donations so we can basically bring you better content. We do have our ghost hunts coming up, so any of that money would go towards that because Shit ain't free. It ain't
And
free. And your
also our
girl's
visit
pockets are
to
short.
and we're also visiting which sides, like sites, sides, not
Sites.
slides, sites,
Yeah. We are
like
going
Handle.
to, yeah, we're going to go to all the witch locations and put it in with this stuff. So you will see that on the ghost hunt side and the historical deep dive side. I think we'll get
Yes,
some good stuff
double whammy.
because it does cost money to travel, and we try to put it all juiciness together because everybody likes me going grey from fear. Thank God I've never found a grey hair. Oh goodness, thank gosh.
Are you kidding? I'm mostly white. Well, at
See,
least
I
it's
would
white
rock
and
it
not
if I
grey.
went white.
If it went all white, it'd be fine.
Maybe it's
It's
just
not an
dyed
image.
white.
Yeah, but then roots will always be roots.
Yeah, well, we'll just hope it all goes white so you can rock the white. And then we
Just
can get
going
you
off on
some
a
elf
tangent.
ears. We
Yeah.
could learn Elvish.
For the token.
We're talking. I got a little excited about that. All right, guys, have an amazing week. Thank you.
Goodbye.